Sure, thanks. Well, I just, if you don't mind, I wanted to ask you one thing about Yemen and the ship that was diverted, just to get your, as a big OCHA person. This ship, MV Mainport Cedar, that and the Yemeni ambassador at the stakeout on the record said that he believed that there was Iranian military equipment inside it. One, it seems like that's not the case, but what's the protocol within OCHA to sort of, raise its voice if these kind of allegations are made? Have there been any further hindrances on this basis by the same Saudi, I guess, led coalition that's funding the aid? And what do you make of, what would you say to people that say it's very strange to have a country leading the airstrikes on another country and also being not the only, but a major donor to it, and then stopping some of the aid?
Okay, well, I think there's two questions there. On the first question, which is that there was an allegation, an assertion made that that inappropriate equipment, as you outlined, was on that ship. That's actually been disproved. So there's been a proper process to verify the inventory that was on the ship, and there is a proper process through which that is established. So we have followed that process. And that was the first time, and hopefully the last time, that such an incident will occur. The second issue is member states who are involved in different aspects of international activity, for want of a better term. What you say is correct. There's a coalition that are pursuing a military conflict in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is leading that military coalition. On the one hand, Saudi Arabia is also providing through its humanitarian arm significant sums of money for humanitarian action. We have, as we do with all of our member states, we have ensured that there is a ring fencing. How does that happen? It means that there's no conditionality to the aid. I have to sit here in front of you and tell you that Saudi Arabia has respected that 100%, because we cannot accept funding, no matter how desperately needed, if it doesn't accord with humanitarian principles in terms of being given to us unconditionally. So Saudi Arabia have not directed where that aid should go, how that aid should be delivered, and so on and so forth. Similar to all of our other member states, which follow our humanitarian priorities. They put the aid through the United Nations agencies in this case, and they assigned it to the United Nations agencies in accordance with the breakdown that we provided. So OCHA led the decision making on the assignment before the Saudis announced that they were actually funding the appeal. And then when the Saudis gave the money, they simply assigned the money in accordance with the pre-identified allocation that we had said should occur. Equally, in the implementation of those programs, there has been no attempt by the Saudis to again direct the assistance through these United Nations agencies or their partners. So what we have is we have a member state who has significant capacity to support humanitarian action in a way that respects the neutrality, the impartiality of humanitarian action, and they have done so. And then at the same time, they are prosecuting a conflict through a military channel. That is not unusual, sadly, in this world of ours. As we look across the globe, many of our member states are involved in different international elements of engagement in countries. We see it in Syria, we see it in many countries. Our job as humanitarians is to ensure that there is no compromise, no politicization of humanitarian assistance. And of course we have to be able to prove to the population that we are not an instrument of any member state, and sometimes that's a big challenge, because the default, if you like, rhetoric would be that you are, if you accept the money, you are somehow under the influence. But that's our challenge. Our challenge is to make sure that we demonstrate in action that we are independent, that we are neutral, that we are impartial, that we are exclusively driven by the humanitarian needs of all the people in an equitable and fair way. And as I say, we have to be up for that challenge.
What about the coalition saying that the aid workers should leave Houthi-controlled areas? Do you see that as related? They might give you the money, but at the same time they say the people that would deliver the aid should leave the area controlled by their enemies.
And that's not acceptable, and that's what we have said. They sent messages, that aid workers should vacate areas which are in Houthi military control, and we communicated very clearly that we wouldn't be doing that. Now, they said that they were saying that in the security interests of humanitarian staff. We thank them for their concern, but we have to continue to do our work in all areas, at all times, everywhere. It's a dangerous environment for humanitarian staff, and you know that humanitarian colleagues have tragically lost their lives in that theatre, as in many others. But absolutely, our message was unequivocal. We will continue to work wherever we judge the need to be, and in accordance with our own security calculation. And as I say, we have humanitarian organisations who really are heroically courageous to be working in places of very high risk, and sadly colleagues pay the ultimate price. But our message back on that occasion and on all other occasions is that we will decide where we should work, and we do so. Thank you.